ए यो व्हाट इज अप भाई। आज पता चला वेबकैम के ऊपर अगर आपकी फाइल रखी है तो फिर वो नहीं दिखने वाली है। ओ माय गॉड, तो ये क्या खोल दिया। लॉल भाई, वॉच पार्टी नहीं करते बनती। Watch party नहीं करते बनती
against Paper Rex that didn't really go well for them.
Right.
Over in the Ho Chi Minh, to fake out some of those setups and then just refract out. Really helps you work the map here on Lotus.
Yeah, that's very true. I think the way that they play it is really important here, and I hope they have some antis because their neon has been really good. And immediately right off the bat, we're gonna see an aggro C play with these duelists. The Raise Nate's coming in and GE just speeding up.
Autumn getting ready for the dash on in. Paint Shell's going to slow down the offense for GE just for a moment, but the double dive on in is finding some impact. Aspas from the backside of the site, cleaned up by Udatan. Verno, as well as the rest of MIBR, tried to force their way through Waterfall, but it's not the clean execution that they're really looking for. Kick through the smoke goes the way of Harvey. As GE get themselves the player advantage, push on spawn side. The IGL of GE really starting to warm up. And on the other side of things, it's Verno for MIBR that has to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, GE starting really explosive, just going, contesting that fight, and making sure they're able to push up. Udotan gonna get the sheriff kill onto Verno.
Let's go.
But yeah, Pistol going the way of global esports, and I think for
first round
MIBR here, I mean, taking that peak is one thing, but not having a fallback plan is a little bit scary. That Pistol just trying to scout, get some information, I'm assuming, and they weren't expecting the whole pack of GE to be there.
I mean, honestly, you wouldn't have had it any other way if you're MIBR. If you're playing double C Mound with Zekin and Aspas on double duelist and the other team runs into you, you can't really complain, honestly. So GE are going to be quite happy about how that round went. Now into the anti-eco. Haven't fully committed to this buy. Autumn and Zavi with a little bit of extra cash in the back pocket. Got the C's nade over on the A side of the map. Aspas getting active, activating that refract, and does at least take a chunk out of Patman. He's the only player to really invest anything in this round for MIBR.
This is the type of round that Puckett would have loved to see. two scope weapons online for both these teams, but grouping up towards this A side here, we have Zavi actually just sitting outside of that C mound, tapping on that door, putting some pressure, using the Prowler to clear that door, and it's actually going to pull 3 of these players on MIBR into this site. They do have a chance to re-clear, but anything that they do right now might be just a little bit too late because GE, they're already all over on the side of C about to execute.
Yeah, I don't mind if MIBR just stacking up where the pressure is, but GE are giving them the runaround right now. Straight up on into the C site. No opposition there from MIBR, just looking to group up on spawn side and see if they can get some damage done with these pistols.
Pushing towards the spawn here. Autumn, kind of scary with this Phantom, gets paranoid and gets treated instantly. Verno gets the pick onto Autumn. Now all these players falling back on GE, trying to play a safe post plan. That's a Phantom, a Spectre in the hands of Zekin actually. And they're holding it on and they're trying to do this flood retake, but Patman shutting it down. Alspas with their trade back onto it now, just flooding it. Zekin and Mizzino getting picks. Man, they should not have pushed into spawn there. That was not a good idea against Pistols.
Oh, yeah. Pistol just trying to pick up the pieces at the end of things, but that is a very bitter defeat for GE, unfortunately. Echoed by naught but 4 classics and a singular Marshall in the hands of Aspas. That is not how you want to get anti-eco to be going. And already MIBR a massive boon for them at the start of this Lotus game after conceding the pistol.
Yeah, it feels like we're seeing MIBR just moving as a pack in that last round, and it really rewarded them. We were talking about how the timing might not be there, but it doesn't matter. And now we're looking at the side of GE. 2 pistols, Sheriff and a Bandit, but we have 3 rifles to kind of work with. But it's going to be a little bit harder going for this A lobby take. The Raze Boomba is actually going to go in. They're going to see that there is someone there, knowing that the pressure is there. Aspas is pushed all the way up, using his refractor just in the nick of time because he was 1 second away from losing that fallback.
Door open by Udatan. Little bit of an investment in this round for GE as the Prowler confirms that GE are indeed inside of tree. Nade for second, will zone the attackers away for now. And that's a beautiful C's combo to take out Autumn. GE not happy with how that looks or feels, but Crystal is activating in the middle of the map. Aspas is dropped, and this gives some concern over to MIBR. Mazzino through the backside of that door, though. does at least give them the man advantage, and he's not done. Looking to push a little bit more here.
Getting a lot of information, pushing this A-line, but Tex getting the pick onto Crystal. Now that plan B has fallen apart. GE gonna try to contact up here. They're not gonna clear Rebel just yet. Mazzino gets spotted, but he gets the pick. 1v4, but now 1v3. Patman with a beautiful sheriff shot onto Mazzino, and all three of these players from MIBR are already on the safe side.
Patman looking locked in. He is a big game player for GE, but this is a triple high-low on stairs side that he's about to walk into. Not even the best of players can be dealing with that. Horn dealt with by MIBR, confirming that there is someone on stairs side, and that is just not the angle Patman was looking for. Second round for MIBR here, and GE looking to go into their gun round after the upset on the eco.
I love to see the vibes from MIBR, knowing that they're just kind of playing their game, making sure they're taking a lot of these peaks. I mean, Mazzino just re-walking up instantly. You can tell that's just a sign of confidence in this game when they're able to just take those fights, kind of not really feeling the pressure of losing those 1v1s. Obviously, a little bit punished, but it's okay because now about so much so on this first gun round for GE.
Yep. It is the Cypher as well as the Omen towards C Mound, though, and that is exactly where GE are starting to challenge. Cam is still out there towards C to try to confirm whether this is actually going to be a commitment as we head a little bit deeper into this round. Nightfall picked up by Patman. I think they're just going to take that hold and run with it as the progression smoke and the Prowler go in. Still two players on the site here. Berno pushed away as he TPs into spawn, and Texas hung around a little bit too far on Waterfall there.
Poor connection.
Now post plant for GE, trying not to overextend because they have numbers, but look at how fast these players have gone over here from the side of MIBR, using that Nightfall on both sides, not really pushing or moving forward based off of it, but the spike finally gonna get planted. Seconds in, Patman and Udo getting those picks. Udo with a 3K to shut it down, and Verno now left in a 1v4. The nade's coming in, and it's gonna make a 4K for Udo.
Yeah, he's got his showstopper online now. That's a big round to win for GE to restore a little bit of confidence, and they are starting to really hammer home the point that this C site is a pistol, and then in their opening gun round here, despite who's playing there, Global Esports are not having too many problems cracking that.
Yeah, looks like MIBR, the flood retake just wasn't there. Zekin was all out onto site using both satchels, and no one was there to follow up. The util wasn't really there either, but now a little change of pace here for MIBR, using a heavy stack towards the same main to get control.
Yeah, Outlaw out on the line. Bottom looking for the pick, dodging that paranoia. Crystal's got him backed decently, and despite the fact that MIBR do secure control of Rebel, they've lost two players on the C push and the A push. GE in full control of this round.
Grouping towards the C here. They're not worried about it. They've come here before. Verno playing close with that bandit. Not going to be able to get one, but as I say that, he gets two. Zabi getting a trade onto Verno. A spam kill from a Mazzino, and all of a sudden, it's a 2v2 here.
Very winnable for MIBR. Actually, given the fact that we have one player down on a Sheriff this round. Prowler going forward for a little bit of information. The Fade on the other side of things looking to slow this one down. Both of MIBR creeping up on Waterfall side. Patman just playing the off angle. Does spot out Aspas and loses a little bit of the trade, but that doesn't give him pause for thought. He just continues challenging this off angle. Crystal has got the cross. Aspas into a very difficult 1-on-2. Able to punish Patman for the peak on the back of the Prowler there. Spike ticking a little bit faster as pressure is being applied by Crystal, and he's going to peek out, but Aspas able to spray him through the wall and pick up that massive 1-on-2 for MIBR. This is just such a tense game.
I questioned a little bit the Aspas waylay, but his movement there, the way that he uses util was really nice to see. MIBR, they keep going for these aggressive peaks, trying to get that line. Tex also answering on the other side when they lose a number, trying to retake some sort of space towards C. It looked really rough, but for GE, this right here, Verno getting these two was so important. Punishing those players for just not making sure that they're trading, and the way that they're pathing into sight was a really good one.
Really rough. You left in a 2-on-1 against Aspas and took him all the way down to 14 HP, but that's all he needs to get some of those rounds done. You can see just how much damage this has done to both teams' economy now. This is going to be a reset round for both of them in round number 6. Quick moves here on towards the C side of the map from MIBR, really pushing it all the way down. Prowler clears the middle of the map. Firstly, on the other side of things, GE have taken A control, but are looking to re-clear the middle of the map here.
Slow group towards this C side here. MIBR have literally nothing on this site. 2 players rotating over towards spawn. Make that 3. They have an inkling that they're trying to end towards this C site here, and the Prowler comes out. The execute. That's going to be so much noise, but they're positioned really well here for MIBR to have a really fast flood.
There's big ults for both of these teams. GE very tentative on getting the spike down. They don't want to kind of push the issue too much. They know that MIBR are ready for this flood. In goes the showstopper and the conversion pass. The rocket not really converting on anything. And we're still in a 5-on-5. Aspas finally breaking through for the time being. Still tentative, waiting for that rocket to elapse on the side of GE, who are all playing inside of the site. Auto up close, able to convert on at least 2, but out of ammo. A couple of trades come through, and it's all down to Patman. In a 1-on-2, this is what he does best. Rookie of the year last year, but not good enough this time. Verno will put him down, and it's another successful C retake for MIBR.
That's crazy from MIBR. That whole round, they were constantly moving in the spawn, constantly rotating, trying to find out where the lines were. It was a little bit weird that they were moving towards that A site where Tex had set up all his Cypher trips, but they learned right away. They heard that there was no noise, no pressure. They instantly rotated over. Still a little bit scary. That was a little bit sloppy of a retake, getting picked off when they're running through the smokes like that, making sure they're not in trading positions, lining up a little bit. It was a little bit scary, but again, MIBR winning out with the power of their frags. And now on this round, we're going to have a full thrifty here for GE. Sheriffs almost across the board, but knives on the side of Autumn.
It's a big round for MIBR to be winning. Need to try to capitalize off the back of that. Once again, you're getting this refract walk through from Aspas straight into Autumn, but that's a difficult shot to be converting on the blades.
That was scary. That was really scary. Autumn with those knives are not something to be messed with. But GE continuing to take it a little bit slow, just trying to find their pick, find their one, trying to get that number advantage so they could pick where they want to go. Looking like they want to end towards this A here, but a little Prowler not going to get any info. Aspas getting the peek, drops Autumn, and all of a sudden, that's a lot of information for them because Mizzino has Olive Tree and 3 players now on this A site ready to keep it, fight for it, make sure they don't get on.
Yeah, Verno on that C info line is fantastic. That's a cracker of an entry from Harvey though, but Aspas still getting in the mix with the Outlaw, able to dash out of the site now, but it's a lot of pressure here for GE. Oma TP does come in, but unfortunately they haven't checked Tex here. That's a spike drop. Neural Theft is invested there, and Patman caught on the cross. Crystal was potentially a little bit of a contingency plan here for GE to pivot on over to, but when he doesn't have the spike, there's not much to be done, and Aspas will end it outright. That's 3 in a row now for MIBR.
This has been a really big step up for Aspas on this Waylay. I feel like his movement has just become so much cleaner than what it used to be on the Waylay. Felt a little bit clunky, felt a little bit like they didn't have a plan. But now, this in particular made me gasp because it was just so scary. But then also when he's on that site, able to just get away from the fight after taking his pick, his timings on this has been really good. And of course, the rotations from MIBR, it's been so good all game so far. Feels like they're almost that step ahead. They're just there every single time when they know that GE is putting down the pressure. And now for GE, they're probably wondering, what do they need to do? So far, they've had that success on getting onto C. They've had success on getting the spike down, but it's that fast flood all of a sudden that they can't cope with.
Yeah, I think a lot of these rounds are just getting quite messy and drawn out, unfortunately. Neither one of these teams really getting the clean execution that they're looking for, and MIBR always coming ahead in those situations. So this is not a particularly easy pause to take as GE because you're kind of trying to adjust on micro things like, okay, our spacing is off a little bit, maybe our comms are off, maybe we need to make better plans in some of these post plans. But we'll see what the approach is going to be, whether it is going to be those micro adjustments or whether they're going to come in with a clear plan into round 8. We're trying to break this dry spell. Got the pistol, got ecoed. We're able to come through with a gun round in round 4, but outside of that, MIBR is really starting to pull ahead now.
Yep, another operator online for Aspas this time. Bought to him by Verno, and they're going to do another C's nade towards this Rebel, trying to punish any A main. The dash comes in. He might get caught by those nades, and Zakin gets that pick onto Autumn with those paint shells. Mizzino just pushing up. His aim is so crisp. Udo getting caught off, just trying to jump up towards that half wall, and now all of a sudden, GE's plan is just falling apart. They can't get this A lobby. They have no presence anywhere else on this map. And MIBR, they just have the full line, getting the orb. This is just a chill day for them.
Yeah, this is nightmare fuel for GE. Post timeout, they immediately get caught by the C's nade. Both duelists hit the deck. Now Patman trying to pick up the pieces. Prowler going forward. Aspas on a pretty dirty off angle here. I don't think this is to be expected, but that is a cracker of a shot from Crystal. GE might have a little bit of a chance in here. IBR well aware of exactly where GE are. The question is, how many more duels are they going to be given?
Mazino alone on this A site, but Tex to join him. The baby door being held to here by Zekin, and Crystal getting another one. He's the main reason why this team has come back into this round. Walking up here, looking like they're trying to add towards A. Tex with a beautiful flank, Inferno getting that final pick onto Patman.
Yeah, that's Tex's best position. He's just won like 2 rounds for MIBR from that exact same spot. Perfect timing. Always just valuing his life and waiting in the wings, knowing that his Cypher utility is doing a lot of work on the map, and then when he's needed, comes out from the woodwork and gets it done. The round that did not start well. Credit to Crystal, since his transition over to the Sentinel role, his mechanics have really been something to marvel at after maybe having some weaker performances individually in the past. But that still wasn't quite enough to dig GE out of a bit of a nightmare situation as they go back onto yet another kind of weaker buy.
Aspas setting up with the op towards that C, so it is a little bit weaker, but they're sitting here trying to get any information. The Odin spam coming in through that door towards tree. Tex is here just spamming. Full setup towards B, which hasn't really been contested yet. Haven't tried breaking any of those Cypher trips on the side of GE. So Tex is just having a field day, having those really good rotations as much as he can. And now information gathered from Mazino. They're going to know that there's players towards the A site.
There goes Harvey. No more smokes on the attacking side. Those are usually important, as far as I'm aware, Athena. We've lost Udatan as well. Autumn swinging through the smoke hand in hand with Patman. It's an immediate paranoia straight from Verno over on the B side, and that is giving GE cause for thought. Completely shut down. This has been a landslide of rounds capped off by a flawless from MIBR.
This is almost a landslide here for MIBR. They're getting away with so much. They're so good at getting these early fights, or at least forcing GE to take them. They're fighting at this point both sides of the map just because they can. Fighting that A, fighting that C, setting Aspas up with an op anywhere that he wants to go. And just being really annoying. It feels like they're not even forcing it that hard. They're just allowing GE to take the bait on a lot of these fights, and now switching it up, this setup towards B site. We said that they never really challenged it, and somehow MIBR knew, because 2 players here for the first time from GE.
Crystal given a stern warning there, down to 4 HP, and Aspas might go back for a second helping here. Out by the Prowler there from Mazino. Patman pushed away. Verno continually just has this C info line self-sufficiently for MIBR. Doesn't even need any help. He just keeps cycling the dark covers. And once again, GE given a rubble control, because MIBR, honestly, at this point, do not care if they have it. Every single time GE actually use it to springboard into A, they get absolutely rolled.
And now, finally, Tex is going to see some action, ending towards that Cypher site for the first time this game. They're going to see that trip, and they're going to know something's up. Hopefully, they're thinking for themselves that this might be the weaker site, but we still need to be careful, because there's 3 players here towards the side of MIBR. The Nightfall comes out, stops that execute from ever happening for GE, and they walk away because they're just a little bit scared.
Verno not overcooking that one, but at least GE pushed him off the info line. Autumn very much hoping that someone will give him some kind of opportunity here, but with the cam up, there's absolutely no reason for MIBR to peek. Tex, they've seen him in stairs so many times. Spamming away, they'll be well aware that he's in there. Inside of tree is Zekin. The trip gets hit, but no one really capitalizing off the back of that. Patman's dead inside of the door, and Zekin not really tested enough inside a tree. Crossfire coming through from Tex with only 10 seconds on the clock. This is falling apart for GE. 10 HP on Udatan, and that is an easy 3K for Zekin. How many rounds have they just walked up A into an absolute nightmare situation?
It's insane. Like, whether Tex is there alone on weak side, he's able to hold. Whether the team is literally not on site, they're able to rotate in time. And every single time, they're just punishing GE using the C's nade combo at the best of times from MIBR. It feels like they've really got a definite good read on how GE is playing, how they're going to be adapting. They're 1 or 2 steps ahead at this point, I feel like. And now we're going to be looking at this round 2 players from MIBR here towards this C mound, but it's 2 different players. It's Verno and Tex this time, as opposed to Zekin and Ospas. Tex getting 2 picks. He's been a star player so far this game, but the trades are coming in. Javi and Patman both good for 1, and all of a sudden the Nightfall comes in. This execute is gonna be turned into a spike plant. I see that, but Zekin's already into sight. He's flooded in. Udo getting a pick, but it's not enough. Ospas, Patman, what is going on? Ospas in the smoke with the shorty.
Oh, man. I mean, again, GE, they do a pretty good job of cracking on into that C site, but the flood is a little bit too fast for them to deal with. Zekin diving in with the rocket and Aspas just light speeding in with the shorty. Able to end that round before GE can really get the comfortable and put their feet up inside of the C site. 9-2. This is very rough going for GE. This Lotus pick is looking pretty excellent on the side of MIBR. They might even hit double digits before we end this first half of regulation here.
Yeah, definitely scary.
Okay, don't laugh
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
You don't like my villain laugh?
That's too much.
Just, you know, reminding you that America's is going to be on top. But anyway, 3 of these players from MIBR, they're set up towards A. Again, knowing that there's something going on here. Zekin using the nades with the Waylay combo. That was insane. And another punish for Autumn. And GE, they're opting to just run towards this site. But Verno hears that TP. Oh, Javi sticking that insane. And now all these trips are going to slow down the rest of the execute. Tex punishing Udo. But the trade with that rocket.
Comes the Steel Garden. Desperation stations here for GE as Verno's able to deal with Patman, and it's a 10-2 half for MIBR. Just absolute domination here on Lotus defense.
Switching sides.
I feel like a player that we haven't talked about enough is Tex, and he's on the top of the scoreboard here for MIBR. He's been playing so well, and I feel like this player has consistently been a rock for this team, a stabilizer. He's always good for playing that Senti role. His lurks have been insane. He's constantly been really good with those rotates, as we can see on this map specifically. He's always in the right place on the right time. And now I'm kind of excited to see how he plays on this attack side, seeing how he's going to lurk, how he's going to take those ones, because you can tell none of these players on MIBR are scared to take their ones.
No, definitely not, and nor should they be. A lot of talent stacked up on this roster, and now they've finally gotten the chance to grace the international stage. They are definitely not going to be taking that for granted. This has been a little bit of a demolition, unfortunately at the expense of Global Esports, who have got to try to get something rolling in this second half. Even if they don't win this map of Lotus, they definitely need to at least play for a little bit of momentum coming into their own pick.
If you're GE, what are you talking about in this halftime? What are you trying to do? Other than
me as
pistol?
a coach, because I was a terrible hype man, I would be like, come on guys, we could do this.
If you said that to me and I was 10-2 down, I would be like, it's okay guys, let's just go next.
You could say let's just go next. I might try and just make people laugh.
Yeah?
Like, yeah, it's a rough game, guys.
That's valid. I mean, this is a struggle of a map for GE.
Guys, we're not playing MIBR, we're playing X team that we always dominate in scrims. New half. Let's just pretend, okay? A little bit of role play, guys, please.
Yeah, and then Ospas is in your face, refracting back, getting space. Zekin's throwing nades at you consistently at the perfect time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I understand. They're good. They're playing well. They're playing well.
But it is MIBR's pick. Just be like, hey guys, listen, it's MIBR's pick. Don't worry. They're going to win this one. We go into ours. We're prepped. We know what we're doing in the next game. We got this on lock.
I mean, it's a big test because, as mentioned before, they do have a new head coach in the coaching booth, someone that has been very intimately involved with the roster in all of their runs recently, though. Platoon has definitely got to step up as a little bit of a leader here for Global Esports, and I do imagine that Javi and Patman will have many words to be saying to the boys. Try to keep them a little bit more focused. Smiles on the face of Autumn. Just one of those games that happens sometimes.
Yep.
But a pistol and a couple of rounds can really, you know, change a man's perception.
Starting into this pistol now, kind of a must-win for GE if they want to kind of give themselves some sort of rounds to work with and not allowing MIBR to run away with it. MIBR though, starting towards 3B. The mound info is going to be taken by GE. That power is going to push them all the way back, and that pressure is going to pull rotate. Ospas already into the B site, refracting back. Zekin trying to get that pick onto Javi, but it's not going to work out. Javi just being so good and not giving them one. But late now, Zekin gets that pick. The door is tapped. Autumn punishing Auspas for standing out in the open. And now all of a sudden, they're pushing towards the spawn here, wrapping towards C.
Yeah, it's a little bit disjointed for MIBR, so they need to make sure that they're not putting a toe out of line on an individual basis. Same can be said for GE, though. Just one player on this A site by himself. Crystal has got a lot of work to do, and he's completely surrounded. Sheer wall at least keeping A main in check as he slips into tree. In the meantime, Autumn is clearing out all of attackers' spawn, but with MIBR making their way onto the A site, boots can be heard on the ground here. Crystal around the corner with the frenzy has got a lot of work to do. 4 bullets left, and at least is able to take 2 with him.
Now all of a sudden a 2v3 here. The nades coming out, preventing that spike from being put down. Zekin trying to get aggressive, take that heaven space back, trying to get one. And Verno just waiting, tapping that spike once again, trying to get it down. And 2 of these players walking up towards this A main. So much noise from Verno, but they know that that heaven is clear because of the space that Zekin's taking. The smoke going down. He's going to try playing into that. And all players are up on this front side. Zekin getting the pick onto Autumn, and now all of a sudden a 2v2. The paranoia going out, but Udon, he's already wrapped towards the back of the site. 2v1, the spike is half. Scary Patman, he has no HP. Zekin, could this be an ace to win this round? The nades waiting for that tap being thrown. Patman walking away from it. So low. Oh my god, the seat going out, the haunt. Nothing yet.
Patman tapping the spike. He's going to stick it, but it's the ace for Zekin. And that is just insult to injury for Global Esports. 11-2 here. They desperately needed a pistol here on Lotus in the second half, but it's not going to be coming together. That is just perfection from yet another one of MIBR's stars.
Really good job for MIBR. It looked like they were trying to get towards B. They started pushing towards C. They heard that door open and they were like, never mind, I think they're stacked and wrapping towards that A. But for GE, man, like that was winnable. It looked like they were in the right place at the right time. They had the right reads. They collapsed onto that front B, making sure they were punishing it. And now they're stuck with these not the best weapons. Sheriffs trying to get anything to do, and they're using it to start pushing towards that B main.
Desperation force here for GE. MIBR really simplifying, starting to make their way through tree. Autumn from the hip, doing a little bit of damage here that Harvey will be at least able to follow up on for a moment, but Aspas with a quick reply. Unitime on the off angle. The Stinger is not the gun for the job there. And MIBR at least able to settle for a moment. Flanks coming in for Patman. Aspas being very sneaky, but I think Patman is well aware. Spike's gone down on the A site, and at least the waylay has been dealt with over on Rubble.
3v3 here. This post plan looking a little bit hard. The door's going to get tapped. That pressure is going to be good. Tex is going to fall off of that tree positioning, and now all these players from MIBR are playing backside. The fast flood coming in now, tapping that spike, trying to get any of these solo peeks. Patman getting the pick onto Tex. Beautiful shot, and Verno trading instantly, getting 2, and now all of a sudden a 1v1, but it's Zekin. He's won that pistol, and he's going to win this round as well. Really good try by GE here, punishing so many of those angles and being fast on that flank, but it just doesn't work out when MIBR, they're just shooting back.
I mean, that's just traumatic. 2 rounds in a row. Zekin denying Global Esports a round on that A site. It's not looking like they have long left here on Lotus, unfortunately. A lot of these rounds getting down into scrappy XVXs even in the first half, but MIBR have come out on top of those time and time again. Force being put together here for GE. They come up with a glass cannon outlaw, handful of bulldogs. Patman at least has a vandal and some armor, and Harvey deals with that prowler over on the C side of the map. MIBR have taken some space over there.
Lots of C mound pressure, but they're walking into Harvey. Autumn, sorry, getting picked off by Tex. That's actually insane. The peak right there from Tex. This is what I was talking about in terms of lyrics, and now so much information has gone that they're gonna try to re-clear towards the C. A really nice trap here. The blind, the paranoia going in, but the trades are just so good from MIBR. Oswald's getting that pick. Everyone's just following up with each other, and all of a sudden, 1v4 to win this map.
Yeah, Unitime has got his work cut out for him here. Will have to announce his presence by opening up the door, and MIBR already set up nicely. Tex sitting in the corner here. Low on HP, doesn't want to overcook this one. Unitime really going looking for someone, and somehow in the player cam, he's playing without one hand on the mouse. Of course, that's Harvey. He's dodged. Durno is playing his time in the door, and Tex will get it done. It was only really a matter of time, let's be honest. A fantastic opener here for MIBR at EWC.
Yeah, what a way to start out their games. And this is what I was talking about. When it comes to firepower, so many of those rounds were won just by sheer peaks, just by taking their ones, making sure they're aggressively playing, taking that map control, because quite frankly, they feel like it. They feel like they're gonna win those fights, and they did. Really well played by MIBR. GE, they really tried to climb back into it, but I just was not convinced.
I mean, there was a couple of almost rounds. I think there was a lot of those rounds where things go kind of down into these messy XVX situations, but unfortunately when one team wins all of the clutches, all of the post plants, they're usually gonna win the game, Pocket.
You nailed it. I asked who was going to be the first to 8 rounds. Should have asked, would you see more than 3 round wins for Global? Somewhere there is a very frosty smile out there, as there seems to be some issues in terms of where we want to go as a squad. Honestly, is this a problem with a new roster, or is this a problem with just a bad map for them? How has it been in Pacific for them historically?
I mean, you were kind of already having your questions here.
Yeah.
This is yet another comp change. 4 times in a row the last 3 months they played Lotus, they tried to change their comp, and this one didn't really look like it was much better for them. As opposed on the side of MIBR, you leave Lotus in the pool. They looked fantastic on it, and unfortunately that was the end of Global Esports for the first match.
So on the coaching topic, do we credit MIBR for doing the scouting and knowing that your opponent has never won on Lotus?
I feel like for me, when I'm looking at MIBR, they changed from Neon and Raze to Waylay and Raze. So I think they've actually just worked a lot on their comp, worked a lot on their Lotus in general, because they have had success on it, but they just brought out some extra guns to throw GE off, maybe knowing that GE was going to let that Lotus slide. I think a little bit of anti-stratting, but majority of this just looked like a scramble. It didn't look like there was that much thought put into those mid rounds. It just felt like they knew what was happening because they had so much information across the map.
Taking a look back at the biggest plays here, Pilsky, go ahead and walk me through what you witnessed.
I mean, you're seeing a lot of MIBR highlights. There might be a reason for that. I don't really need to spell it out for anyone. I think for GE, though, another comp change on this map doesn't really come together. MIBR probably smelling blood in the water. I think if I was a coach going up against an opponent that had changed their comp on a map, that indicates some degree of weakness. I don't think that necessarily is the case for GE. Yes, of course, Lotus has not been going well for them, but it is just kind of how they play as a team, especially with Frost previously at the head of the coaching staff. He does love to just switch things up, map to map to map.
Across our first 6 maps, I feel like we've seen 3 Vice losses. Is this a weak agent or just in bad comps right now? I haven't really had to play as Vice myself personally, so what's going on here, Athena?
I don't think it's a weak agent. I think Vice in general, the wall, it's so much really good passive information that you could kind of trade one-to-one for a Cypher Cam. But I think right now what I'm seeing is just so many people know how to abuse that wall, how to bait it out almost every single time and kind of make it useless. So for me, I think maybe more creativity has to be played around Vice. I don't think that she's weak at all. I really like Vice as a team.
As a former Raze mate, I'm happy to see my favorite duelist in action on both sides of the ball. Yesterday, you told me that Jing was going to be this a diamond. Back when you had 2 grenades, by the way. But Pilsky, talk to me a little bit about your favorite duelist in this matchup. Is Raze Jet still the comp to go with across all maps? Who do you expect to be seeing throughout this best of 3 if we get to a game 3? I assume we won't, based on what we've witnessed so far.
Oh, come on. Try and give them the map.
They got 2 rounds, bro. I'm just looking at stats.
Hey, it was MIBR's map pick.
And one of them, your Raze got you 4 kills, right? With explosions.
Look, I think Raze Jet very strong on this map. The burst potential is very good, especially against the Vice. You just go up and over the top of the wall. You're having a pretty good day at the office. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of that at the moment. But there are plenty of other duelists that are also quite serviceable as well. It really just depends on your style that you want to go for as a team and what personnel you have on your squad.
We want to thank you all for waking up early to watch your favorite game. It is Valorant here, week 0 of EWC. We're going to a break. When we come back, more from game 2.
Like, हम जैसे कभी AD दबाते हैं ना, तो जैसे कि मैंने A दबा के रखा है, फिर मैं D दबाऊंगा, तो फिर वो एक जगह रुक के या तो D जाएगा या फिर वो जाएगा ही नहीं, ऐसा वाला होता है। तो स्नैप टैप पे क्या होता है, स्नैप टैप पे वो तुम जैसे ही दबाओगे ए या डी तो वो बिल्कुल ही दबेगा, यानी कि वो तुरंत पे रजिस्टर कर लेगा। ए दबे दबे भी डी रजिस्टर कर लेगा, डी दबे दबे भी ए रजिस्टर कर लेगा। थोड़ा छोटा ब्रेक ले लो तो ज़्यादा अच्छा है भाई। लेटेंट देखना है भाई, लेटेंट देखना है भाई। भाई पहले मैं हर्ष भाई की वॉच पार्टी देखता था।
That it's clear it's been too long without him peeking, so they shift walk it and he misses.
आर-पार चले गया, लेकिन बूट वापस से शॉट आया ना भाई।
A little bit of pressure now being put on.
Falling back to C, पूरा C खाली।
Now they are going to have to trip the wall in order to give
nice,
this
W
up.
observer, W observer.
Neon right now because they're kind of going crazy on.
Into their favor once again. GRQ needs another big round and he's got nothing. They are losing every single fight. But Fang is behind them. Sneaking up back around. He needs to get, well, basically needs to get two at least from this scenario. The first one might just be free, but then they turn around and he's going to come out with three. Leaves it down to 1v1. Shrimp has picked up the big gun, the Odin, to try and clutch this one out. Benji's just sticking it though. Halfway, already gathered up. Almost has to try and swing this one. Needs the instant shot and he will get it. A 4K for Benji. Fangir's heroic wasn't quite enough. And unfortunately, they are now facing map point.
12 on the board. Again, the first 5 rounds, it looked like we were going to get a completely different game here, but Heretics have activated. And that's the scary prospect. Root being on fire like this right out the gates.
Look at this round.
He's coming back here to defend his title.
Like Benji pushed mid, went back, cleared a guy in garage, then pushes back around, kills the guy in spawn, and then kills the guy all the way back towards long. Like he's basically fought every single possible angle that he could have in this round. This, I'll be honest, this timeout feels a little bit late. Like, I know you're not just going to give up at this stage, but when you're 12-5 down, what would you say in this moment? You were an ex-analyst, or assistant coach, was it, of a team? So, like, if you were given the opportunity by the head coach to talk, what would you say in this moment?
Yeah, if given that opportunity, I think the first thing I tell the boys is, listen, we lost this map about 5-6 rounds ago.
Okay.
So we've always got...
And then I go, as head coach, come on, be quiet now. Anyway, guys, we need to try and motivate. We need to try and...
के लिए वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बनने के लिए
nothing I was feeling inspired.
नॉमिनेट हो सकते हैं.
What would Minnie say?
वो immortals हैं वो लोग.
That's what we really need to think about. Because he might be the only person that can help them come back from this scenario. 12-5 down. It's a rough one.
ठीक है.
This is a mini comp actually.
एक बार ये हिसाब समझ के देखो.
He's a big fan of everything here.
Everything we're seeing, he would probably swap
or are you
out the
just saying it's
Sova
a
for a
small?
bunch, but other than that,
लोग इस दुनिया
loves
में
it.
हैं.
Cosmaris a little bit too much bitten off there, and my boy can't chew. It's clean for bye. And now they're going to keep going. The A side looking too tempting, but the rotate's already in from Team Heretics. Root is here, and they've seen Boo up top. They should decide to go back, and it looks like they've made the call.
5 बंदे होते हैं, यानी कि 80 लोग. 8 billion लोग में से
think about the last round of how much he was able to get with his pressure into middle.
World champion बनने के लिए. तो
there is a trap on the other side, but already being spotted out. Good awareness from Fangir, and they're going to try and pressure him now. No survival. I like this. More of a death ball. Moving together, using that Hunter's Fury to get them in. Well, this time that C site will be firmly under their control. The remaining players don't really have the credits to gamble anything for this one.
8 billion लोग में से
I almost wonder if it'd be worth just doing the same. If he gets the orb, he can drop that operator over into the next round.
हम और वो जो वो बोल रहा है जी को noob, वो उन 8 billion लोग में से ही है.
Sad that we didn't get this pause earlier because all gamers just came in with a very clear game plan, stuck to it. Mid-round calls were good, avoided the dangers, dealt with mid as well. That flash coming out was perfect. They covered their bases, and I haven't seen them do that in this half so far. So
8
yeah,
बिलियन
I fully
लोगों
agree.
के
Paul's
झुंड में
probably
से
should have
चुने
come in a
हैं
little bit earlier, but
उनके ऊपर
it
चुने
might
भी
not
नहीं
be
है
too late.
स्टैंड आउट
6
करे
in a
भाई
row,
वो
we've
लोग
seen stranger
उनको कोई
things.
घर नहीं आया था लेने की भाई
Disappointing last
सुनो
season, but
EWC पे खेलोगे हाँ
good
खेलेंगे चलो
opportunity
चलो
for all gamers to at
नहीं
least build up
वो
some
लोग पहुंचे
momentum
हैं वहाँ पे तो तुम्हारी
going
कोई
into
औकात
that
नहीं भाई
next
उनको
map.
बोलने
Again,
की
I do think that if
कोई
they're
भी
running a
noob
comp
shrimp
like this, or even
ये
just an
देखो
identity like this, Ascent is going to be
noob
tough
shrimp
up against Heretics. You don't have nearly as much space to play with. You're not going to find lanes unprotected or with just one player there, and Heretics will almost always have a response to any aggression you're putting out. So I think that for all gamers, I at least want to see them look confident going into the next map.
Well, yeah,
कुछ नहीं हो सकता भाई लोगों का
Move for global here.
Play the game better. Don't get 13-2'd. You need to shoot back, need a good
Period.
plan. Because MIBR is looking like the way better team. And I think it was kind of similar what we saw yesterday for RRQ as well. Like, honestly, these Pacific teams are kind of struggling a little bit when they come onto the international stage and not showing the same level of strength that they have done domestically. So this is where, I mean, when you get 13-2'd, a good coach is worth its weight in gold. Let's see what Platoon has got here.
Not only did we not see the execution on that map, you guys also highlighted your concerns around the composition, the roster building based on the agents. Athena, what do you want to see cleaned up as they're going into their map pick now?
Oh, I just
Sixth gear. The engine's running hot right now. 6 rounds in a row for all gamers. A man down already, but this is the buy that should be easy to deal with. Woot, the danger can be avoided. And the rifle on Boo, look, they haven't even got the spike in their hands for the first minute because they know that there are dangers to be avoided. Now they come back in with direction, and again, the call looks to be good, at least for now. Exploring B, hearing the trap, seeing no contact. If they get in there for the post plant, it should be most of the danger already avoided.
I'm going to use the run it back just to make sure.
It's worth being cautious.
Spike just about going to be planted before he fades away, and then winning back-to-back fights. Pressure once again seems to be on Woot to try and find something in this round, of course, with
Side execute, he'd just get a 2K, the round would be over, and all of a sudden, you don't remember many of them, but he ended up topping the board and getting the most kills.
How much of that is due to him being American and America really succeeding right now?
Yeah, everything. I mean, it makes all the difference. I think he had the German flag or something on BLR at some
yeah,
point.
I'm pretty sure he's German, so that's awkward.
How are you German rocking the name Tex? Striking out on that one, my bad. So Tex is popping off.
I think he is American.
I thought Zekin was the German, right? No? German-Americans?
No, not close. But anyway, I agree. I think Tex has been phenomenal, and for me as well. I think he's been really good at being active as well. It's just one of those things that you missed on your giant list of reasons why Tex is insane and why he played so good. He was so active, too, at getting a lot of the map control around.
I had a fan blowing, made me look extra wide, so we're going to tighten up and get ready for this second game of the day. MIBR is on match point. If they win this map, they are done for 2 days as they wait for the next round of competition. Athena, what do you got going?
I will say this, okay? Last map was MIBR's pick, the Lotus. They've had historically a really good run. I think it's a little bit weird that GE let this go through, but it's fine because now we're moving on to Haven, which historically hasn't been MIBR's best map. They've played this around 6 times and they've lost it 4 of those times. Only 2 wins, and even recently in Americas was the closest time that they played it, and they've switched up their comp from the last time that they played this. They had the Phoenix and the Jet last time, as well as the Chamber, but they've switched it up a little bit.
I think Waylay has a 0% win rate. Go ahead, dive in for me.
They can't play worse than last time, honestly. I'm looking at that Envy game personally. They definitely have got to do better.
We don't talk about that one.
No?
No, we don't talk about the MIBR loss.
You can't get 13-1 by streamers.
No.
Like, that's illegal.
Oh. Anyway, what about
one
the
of them might be live right now.
What about the agent select, guys?
The agent select. That's honestly, I was so hyper focused on my point, but I wasn't looking at what GE was playing. But we're gonna answer that question now. They are playing the Cypher Deadlock. This has been a comp that they've been playing for quite a while. They're 2 wins in a row on it. Over the top of Nongshim in the EWC qualifiers, doing quite well for themselves. That was a bit of a weird game. I remember casting that one, but they also beat Shilai over at London, which is not too bad of a run for them, because I remember watching Happyway run around like a demon on this map. So beating him must be doing something right. Crystal spamming away inside a lobby. And goes the drone towards Garage. Shiggy a push all the way down C long here, though.
So much information. Zekin coming up with that waylay. Gonna put some pressure down, but the actual end plan is towards this A site. Verno getting a really nice dink, but Crystal gets the trade onto Tex. Instantly, so many trades coming in. Verno ending up being the hero in that, getting those 2 picks. And Batman, he's on this A site, on this A link. Autumn flanking really quickly might be the reason why they win out this round. In spawn is Aspas trying to hold a crossfire, gets the pick onto Patman, and all of a sudden Autumn in this 1v3, but I think they know something's up because they have that full spawn side.
Yeah, it's a little bit disjointed, unfortunately, for GE. One way thrown up on short side, and that is a death sentence here for Autumn. No way you can crack back into this site. Now IBR are giving him nothing. Spike ticking a little bit faster and out onto the line. Under the one-way is Mazzino, and MIBR just keep the good times rolling instantly off the back of a 13-2. They immediately win the follow-up pistol to start off Haven.
I really like that GE was active, trying to get some sort of information, pushing all the way down C-Long, but this fight right here, it was so scrappy. You can see how quick everyone was there to react, but it's just the right-click classic from Verno that manages to get 2 kills onto that.
That's a free gun, by the way. I remember back when, in the early days of Valorant, I would just full armor classic anti-eco on Jet and then just buy the op straight away, because why not? It was even more busted back then than it is now. But MIBR, quite happy with how that went for them. Nice little easy 2K for Verno as they kick off this anti-eco into the C site. Dart dealt with. Autumn sitting on the back lines. Position confirmed by Aspas, but that's not too bad from Udatan. Dumping down that relay ball, cutting up this push for MIBR, and they cannot get the clean execution they were looking for through the cage. Out comes the dart as well as a grab net, giving MIBR serious pause for thought here. They haven't pivoted away just yet. Drone going forward, looking for Autumn, and they have confirmed that he's sitting in the corner. Down goes the deadlock ball. That's going to slow this down a little bit more. Aspas going forward. Straight from the hip with the Marshall, cleaning out all of this C site, and now MIBR are looking a little bit more comfortable.
2v3 here, coming out through Garage, but it's instantly going to get spammed down by Verno. Really decisive at the end there, but that was a little bit scary at the beginning for MIBR. I mean, Zekin getting into that site, not shooting the player that is not looking at him, and instantly refracting back. A little bit scary for them. But I think for MIBR, obviously, they're still going to be happy with the outcome of this round. They're going to be on that bonus for the 3rd round. These fights were so chaotic. I think GE, they're really trying to be active, really trying to make sure that they're pushing and trading as quick as possible. The fast floods are there. But it's going to be interesting how they play out this round. Gun round for the side of GE.
Harvey having a look to see what his Sova Dart can fashion for him. He does get scanned by MIBR, so rotation comes back across for GE, who have spread out that Sentinel utility around the map. It's something that they love to do. You'll see a lot more of that. A bit of a Sentinel duel over on Garage side. Drone goes looking for some information, but it's immediate paranoia dive into the site there from Zekin. Aspas finding one before the refract comes through. Zekin will hit the deck, and MIBR very much slowing this one down. Tex caught, pulling the pin out from Crystal's grab net there. Drone confirming where Udatan is standing. This is so tentative for MIBR, not knowing when to make their move, but that's where Aspas and Verno just completely demolish everyone on the site, and Crystal, a little late to the party, has a big 1v3 to attempt.
Those are the types of things that I worry about for GE. The 4K for Aspas to close out the round. But every single time, it feels like they're in somewhat of a good position, getting that pick onto Tex on the extremity. They still struggle when it gets back into sight, when they're trying to get those trades, when they're trying to path into the site. They constantly take these ones or put themselves in these positions where they're so isolated and they cannot trade. But of course, when you're playing against Aspas, when you're playing against Zekin, you just have to be so much quicker and so much more understanding with these things, because they are playing at a pace that really throws you off.
Just waiting out a lot of that Senti utility, taking their time to crack on into the sites. You can't rush yourself. There's so many sensors, so many trips to deal with. That's very cheeky, using the dark cover to hide from the recon. Udatan on the walk down middle, but the Sheriffs are not really connecting either ones of these vicinities. MIBR now pivoting back towards A, and that's where Harvey had the info line for a moment, but punished now by Aspas.
Not looking too good. 3-0 MIBR winning that bonus round just with the sheer force of them going quick, and a punish onto Javi. 3 of these players from GE, though, they understand what's going on. They're stacked onto this site. They've gambled, and it is a good gamble, but it's just the fact that they need to be in these tradable positions. They need to get their ones here because the flank is also on the way. Udo getting that first pick onto Aspas. The paranoia coming in, but in a weird spot, making Udo get 2. Verno trying to get that trade and does end up getting it. And now all of a sudden, 3v3 here. Patman getting dropped by Tex. Crystal with a beautiful shot onto Tex. Now running towards short, trying to pick up that weapon. Does get the Phantom.
Off angle for Crystal, dealt with by Verno. The flank coming in from Autumn. He's actually got a decent timing to be attempting this clutch. Uncovered on the site, but a little bit too late there from Autumn. The model as Verno gets off of that spike plant cannot be calibrated on. Always a little bit annoying with some of the animations. Can't quite get the headshot where it's needed, and that's completely punished there by MIBR, despite some heroics on the Sheriffs from Global.
We talked about star players on MIBR, and it feels like every single player has their standout moments so far in this series, constantly going for 3. And it's just crazy how easy it seems sometimes for winning out these frags. GE, that was a close round. It was a little bit expensive for them, but an op on Aspas.
I mean, 100% it was a close round, but like how many close rounds did you have on Lotus?
Yeah, true.
Really struggled to win any of them. Quicker C execute, Hunter's Fury to back it off, giving a lot of problems for Udotan. The Sova dance getting multiple players.
Wow.
And it's a complete decimation of the C site. MIBR changing up the pace after a lot of slower rounds, really waiting out GE and waiting for mistakes. This time it's pedal to the metal straight into C, and it works a treat.
No pop execute. Instead, they just full execute with that waylay out. It was really beautiful. Not a single spot on site was left uncovered. And again, the sheer force of the movement coming in from Zekin and Aspas to get into that site so quick. The util usage, the paranoia, the dart, everything just lined up beautifully. And GE, man, they did not stand a chance. Look at those X's, 4 on that C site, 3 of them towards spawn.
I'll tell you one thing, though. There is no way you're getting into tower here. Double sensors. Surely that doesn't work out for MIBR. Dealing with both of them in just an instant. That is just perfection. Even both of the sensors were both checked perfectly by MIBR with the dart to follow up. They really just have not put a toe out of line since this series kicked off.
You really thought that he could hold that.
Give me a little bit of cope. Can I at least save a Vandal in tower for the next round? Anything.
Anything indeed. Well, they do have 2 ults online. The Deadlock ult, they have the Neon ult. They could go for something fast.
Can we at least kill Verno? Like 10-0.
10-0 is insane.
That's kind of too
That's
much.
my IGL right there.
Yeah, okay.
यार 0-5 भाई 0-5.
Back on the Sheriffs. Funnily enough, were one of the rounds where they were a little bit more competitive compared to the gun rounds, but with the Outlaw on Aspas, I'm a little bit worried they might not be able to repeat that. Dash up into the site, out comes the overdrive from Udotan, and hand in hand with Patman, giving MLBR some serious problems, but that is pretty impressive for Mazzino to come up with 2, given that he's hit entirely by the relay bolt. Hunter's Fury connects on nothing. Global Esports now 2-on-4 in this retake, trying to come in from A-Link, dodging that drone, dodging the paranoia, but all of that is just buying more time for the spike and Aspas to slide onto the perfect line. Decent trade back from Harvey and almost a shot through the wall onto Verno there, but with the one-way coming out and a perfect little triangle crossfire, it's not even needed. Verno's just out in the open to get it done for MIBR. I mean, you can't blame the man for his confidence right now. I still don't think he's even died yet.
I'm really questioning the choices from GE here on this round. Using 2 ults to try to turn it around, the Soval and the Neon ult, but it's just not working out after that Neon has dropped. Getting scanned for so long by the dart. Mazzino full stun, still manages to get the pick on Neon. It's just not looking too hot. Javi, knowing that and still using his ult, it's a little bit scary because now you're kind of losing some sort of trap play potential that you have here, but the double senti comp on defense, they really need to win some of these rounds because it's so much harder on that attack side with this kind of comp. And now all these players towards that A lobby, the gun is going to get spotted from Tex. That operator finally coming online for GE, and they're falling back into sight.
Drone confirms that there's more players here for MIBR, and a warning shot there onto Aspas. Just a leg. Finding some early success here with this operator, and that's enough bravado to kind of push MIBR away to other avenues.
Grouped up. back towards mid here for MIBR. They're aware of the op. The drone still online for Verno, though. Walking towards that C garage, gonna spot the Cypher setup. They're gonna know this is the weakest site. Trying to go for a C split here. Mizzino just being annoying, putting pressure towards that B, finding out where that operator is. And now just chilling outside of B with that spike.
Shot from Udatan. Lapse of focus for just a moment. MIBR waiting for a mistake, which they're not going to receive. There goes the paranoia and the dash on in for Aspas, who is traded out by Patman. Once again, the plant being attempted here by Mizzino. Out comes the Annihilation. Very much looking for a pick here. I'm not sure if it even connected. Verno just continues to come up with the goods until Patman is able to come in towards that B site. Down into a 2-on-2 now. Fight coming out for Autumn, who was waiting a long time over on C-Long. Finally finds his man. Zekken last alive inside of that site. And Crystal does a good job clearing him out. Finally around here for GE on this defensive side. See how many more they can start to put together here, because this has not been the start that they were looking for.
Back on the board, and the main reason is it's on the back of that operator for Udo, trying to get one of those picks, trying to go aggressive, get the line, and just punish them for playing that slow style that they've been playing for a majority of the game. The walk up, the pop executes, going off of info. I think this was all really nice from MIBR, trying to punish that operator, and Mizzino TPing out in time, but the retake was just too good. This is one of those times where you see them going in together on the side of GE, and you're like, finally, this makes sense. The trades are there. The frags are finally there. And all of a sudden, back on the board. They're going to spot that Sova, though, with that drone, but the wheel is out. That dart is coming down. Hobby actually gets a spam kill onto Aspas through the neon wall. Zekken trade onto Crystal, and all of a sudden, Mizzino, he's TP'd into heaven. They're trying to get this A crunch down, but there's 3 players on site.
Zekken up inside of the dark cover. Harvey's finally been able to deal with the fox among the hen house, but Tex and Verno just wiping that site. Unfortunately, another round that kind of slips through the fingers of GE here. Autumn now tasked with yet another retake. Playing over towards that C site time and time again. At least has the neural theft to work with, but I'm not sure he has anyone to really use it on. Both of the players are inside of A long and heaven respectively, so that's not really going to give him any information necessarily. Upshot missed there by Tex. That's enough to convince Autumn to not try to attempt this retake and just hold on to his Vandal and armor. An immediate reply here for MIBR is going to put significant pressure on GE's economy now.
MIBR just making so much pressure on so many different angles for GE that it's getting hard for them to hold it down. Obviously, the util usage from Verno as well, absolutely phenomenal. Using that dart when they know that they're about to fight that A main, that A long, and just being annoying. And the shock dart to get that pick onto the player close right in that off angle. In the corner. Just so many small things that add up here. Tex with the nasty shot through the wall while he's still running. It's just these small, insane micro things that are punishing GE. I actually feel like that round GE had a really good read. Fighting that A long, fighting the A lobby, punishing anyone that was going way too fast, using the neon wall to back off. They heard the Mizzino up. They held heaven. It just, everything just didn't. It just fell apart at the end.
That's every round in this series for GE.
Yeah, it keeps happening.
There's plenty of 3v3s. There's plenty of, you know, XVXs that are winnable for GE, but there's just nothing's landing in the mid round, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's
the facts.
That's the firepower, though, for me.
Yeah, to some degree. 100% MIBR looking like the sharper team coming into this series. Don't think anyone can argue with that. We all know that the ceiling of some of these players on GE, but the consistency, unfortunately, is another story.
Mizzino having some really good impact frags too, especially when he's on that B site, usually being the player with the spike, able to just get on and get off, able to use the paranoia at the right times. I really like to see how deep the playbook is too. Feels like for every little small situation, they have some sort of answer, some sort of protocol. Like when the operator is on that B site, they're dashing up and making sure they're using that verticality to punish it. Trying really hard to get that really fast double dive duelist to put in the work. But now GE going for this mid fight, and MIBR has read right into it. They're holding this mid, knowing that they're on this thrifty. Only 2 weapons across the board. One of them saved, and it's a fast beat.
Double dash straight into the site, and that's about as easy as it gets there. Mizzino is all over those players, whether he can see them or not. Plant going down in the safe position for MIBR here. And Verno, 15-1, spotting out the barrel of the gun for Autumn. Not the player you'd want to be peeking here. Crystal on the other side of things, a lot less to work with. And looking like MRBR going to walk away with yet another attacking side round. Autumn peeking out to see if he can find anything. And honestly, if Mazzino didn't get it done, Verno was ready to peek. That's kind of can't do the guy from back home like that. Unfortunate.
Dude, their reaction timing on these guys right now is insane too. It feels like they're so ready for every single fight. The crosshair placement's absolutely there. The mechanics are just so good. Granted, it was a little bit of a weird buy round, a low buy, just trying to get something to support around that rifle that they saved that last round, but it's just not looking good.
Yeah.
Gun round here.
I mean, this will be a bit of cathartic one. I remember sitting in a cafe in Seoul and watching MIBR play NRG at the end of kickoff on this map. This is more the scoreline that they probably would have had in mind back then. So this might be a little bit of trauma redemption, I guess you could say, for MIBR. Quick split into C. Autumn going to get tested. Not something that has been happening too much so far this game. Refract back, and actually the flood in is starting to go the way of GE. Mazzino dealt with trying to dive through the cage as well. Verno from downtown though, and Tex on the back lines is starting to turn this one around. Out comes the neural theft. Udatan under pressure, playing inside of his fast lane, trying to buy time for Crystal to get involved here.
2v2. Spike is down on the site. Trying to get that from Platt. Scary fight for Tex to take because he does end up losing it. Verno making so much noise going towards that garage. They know now where he's positioned, and the Spike is still down. This is almost unwinnable. And Udo getting that final pick onto Verno. Now that was a really good round from GE. The super fast flood into the Cypher util. Cypher just staying alive for so long, playing together, making sure that they're in those crossfires when they are coming out of that spawn smoke, just punishing that fast action.
I mean, that's what GE are good at on this map, honestly. That's a little bit more like it. The problem is I'm a little bit worried they've dug themselves quite a big hole on this defense. At a minimum, need 4 rounds out of this half, so
especially with their comp.
Back to back, yeah, it gets a lot harder once you move over onto that attacking side, that's for sure. Okay, we'll see if they can try to fashion themselves a little bit more magic. Autumn once again tucking himself in nicely towards that C site. Has a little bit of help from the rotation of Udo-chan. Crystal pulls out the grab net. Birdo on the other side of things. Let's go at least 1 for 1 on C, and we get fights on both sides of things. MIBR just taking space where it's given, and they've found themselves at least 3 picks here. Really, the world is their oyster from here on out.
It's actually crazy how quick that was, too. 4 players just grouping up here towards that A long. I say that, but Javi gets the pick onto Mazzino. They know that he's sitting here, speeding up towards this B site. Autumn is rotating in, is caught out. Doesn't get a pick, gets so much damage down that Sobal not gonna catch anymore. Autumn getting 1, but not before he gets dropped by Zekin and Javi in this 1v2. But both players are lit.
Yeah, time for a vintage Javi clutch. If ever you needed one, GE desperately need rounds on this defensive side. Nice open plant for Verno. Meets up with Zekin towards the bottom side of C long there. Shots coming out. The MIBR lads will be very well aware of where Javi is coming from over here on spawn side. Doesn't tap the spike yet. Drone to work with, but not really the kind of clear path for that to be used at this point. Out comes the shock. Clears out the close corner, but neither of MIBR are playing there. Drone in response for Verno to confirm that, unfortunately, Javi is not on the spike yet, and time is really starting to tick at this point. Trying to get the half. Trying to bait out the peak from MIBR, but they are being very patient with this one. Recon dart to follow up. Verno dealt with, but unfortunately, I think if the half doesn't come out, it's going to be done, and Zekin is the one to close it for MIBR. A really nicely played 2-on-1 there.
The scoreline is looking awfully familiar here. 9-2. One more round left in this map. This is so scary for GE. I mean, the double senti, it's not working out for them. They're not able to hold on to these sites. They're getting picked off so easily by MIBR. They're finding these really good timings. They're really good aggressive peaks here. And of course, they're taking their ones because of the confidence they have, especially with the momentum from that last game. And now looking like a fast C split here. Sorry, C execute here on the side of MIBR.
Again, it's Autumn and Unitard up over the top. Is Aspas well aware that the Neon is sitting inside of the cage. Mazino's made it into the site, and they are very tentative, trying to clear out this Bucky. That's great patience for MIBR. Patman trying to make a heroic play straight through the dark cover. Out comes the Annihilation, immediately sniped out by Aspas. And it's just Harvey inside of Garage. He's got a lot to fix up here. It's a 1-on-5, but I don't even think that this man is going to be good for it, quite honestly. Blast Cannon Guardian is not the tool for the job, and Mazzino with a big 3k TP into the back of the site. It's another 10-2, double digits in the opening half. And look, honestly, it's just continuing to get sadder here for the Pacific fans, myself included.
19-3 for Verno. He's only died 3 times.
When you said 19-3, I thought you were referring to the overall round tally so far in this series.
No.
It's close to that. It's close,
It feels like it.
That's what I thought you were saying. It's so painful. It's actually so painful.
Oh man, you guys didn't believe me earlier when I said MIBR could win the whole thing, but with the form that they're in right now, I think, yes, GE, they're struggling a little bit, but it's so many of these close rounds that just show you that the 1v1s are there, the 2v2s are there. Everyone is able to get their own. And the calls, too, have been really good. I'm really, really surprised by their strat book, by the playbook, how deep it is, and the way that MIBR is still avoiding and calling. Clearly, they have a lot more things that they want to call, but they're avoiding using it, because why would you when just executes are working out right now?
I mean, especially into double Senti, the Waylay Jet is really doing wonders here for MIBR. They're able to avoid a lot of the sonic sensors, a lot of the trips in the setup by just good pathing in on the entry, using the refract where it's needed. Saw actually a similar kind of outcome when we saw KRX take on this GE squad earlier on in Pacific. They were able to use Jet really, really well to just avoid all of the double Senti util, and I think you see MIBR did the exact same thing here to GE, unfortunately.
ठीक है बेसिकली देख सकते हो बहुत पास हैं ये लोग
This is
तो ऐसा भी हो
wild.
सकता है कि इन लोग बोले तो आगे भी
I knew they were going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be this dominant.
जाने से
I'm just
रोक
happy
नहीं
you're in a
सकते हो तो
good
फिर
mood.
सुनने से रोक
That's
लो
it. You
तो
know,
इन लोगों ने
that's the
हेडफोन
one
लगाए तो
good
थोड़े से
thing
ना
that we get out of this.
अकूस्टिक होते हैं
Okay?
ना वो थोड़े से रोक देते हैं आवाज
And all the Americas fans.
तो
Listen,
और
this
वैसे
is
भी
the
लोग
time
इतना
for you
चिल्ला के
to
बोलते हैं कि
convert
इतनी
a little
दूर
bit,
आवाज
you
जा
know?
रहा है।
Like,
है ना, वैसे भी
jump
बाजू
on
पर
the
ही
MIBR
बैठे हैं।
train with me.
और
Need a green card.
अगर इन लोगों को बाजू पर भी आवाज नहीं जा रही है उसके लिए भी लोगों
Oh,
को
this
माइक
is
से
rough. I
बोलना
think
पड़
for
रहा है तो जाके
GE,
वो
like,
उससे सुन रहा है
let's
तो
just
फिर
say there's a
बताएं
little
कि
bit
तो ये
of
दो
cope
तीन
here.
किल
A
सलूट
tiny bit of cope. They went out
solution है।
pistol.
Yeah.
They don't throw the anti-cope,
Yeah.
right? Perhaps they win a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
then
could do it.
Then we're 6 rounds behind.
Listen, MIBR likes to push a lot, and maybe with the double Senti they can prevent that. But they're going for this fast C split here. Aspas is going to be on the site with Zekin. Tex hears all this information. Zekin going for his with that Sheriff, not connecting. Aspas manages to get one. Zekin gets another, but two trades coming in. Autumn and Udo. Zekin gets a second kill onto Udo, and 3v2. His team is coming in. They're trying to flood out onto site together. That shock might do enough damage. They're so lit, picking off onto Autumn and Hobby in this one. V2 is not going to win it out. Mazzino with that final kill. Inferno, man, these shocks. He's gotten like 3 this game already.
Yeah, he's good. We know. We know. It's been an excellent game for Inferno.
So he's like,
Has to
what,
be said.
20-3 now?
20-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GG
Something
है
like
भाई
that. Pretty good on the Sova. Not gonna lie. Rest of MIBR giving him a lot of help as well. I think both the Jet and the Waylay getting a lot of value fighting from backside of the Sheriffs here. I think GE, you could see right from where they kind of get halted up in Garage for a moment. They are very kind of, I wouldn't say afraid, but just taking a little bit of time to get into that C site, unfortunately. And that's where the Sheriffs are having a lot of fun, picking them as they head on their way in. Speaking of picking GE as they head in, this time less success for Aspas. Forced away for the time being. It very much seems like GE want to pick up the pace, but Mazzino's spamming away on his Spectre. Takes a lot of damage off the hero TP up the top. Should get checked here by Unitard, but he's got just not enough HP, unfortunately. And that is a double once again from the Omen. Mazzino just continues to conjure magic for MIBR, and Autumn is kind of waiting in the back of the site. All he could do was trade out the Omen before Vono cleans him up. 12-2 for MIBR. I think this might be back-to-back 13-2s.
The fact that Mazzino's just allowed to TP back into site, get those picks, no trade on board.
They tried to trade him, but Unitard had like 10 HP because they took about 300 damage getting it to B. Unfortunately. So that's how it be.
That's how it be. This was kind of nasty. We're talking about Mazzino just being so good, especially with his impact frags. But this round, you can tell he's just kind of styling on them. And now 12-2. Like you said, we might see that same scoreline.
Fract active for second, creeping up on the line. As the opener onto Unitard. And the going continues to get rougher for GE. Will confirm that Crystal is in this neck of the woods, so MIBR not even really feeling pressured enough to rotate. Still just kind of sitting in a 2-1-2 here, because you can definitely trust Second and Verno to probably get the rest of this round done themselves, or very there nearabouts.
Grouped up, A-long. Crystal alone towards short. The smoke's going to come in. The actual pick is going to come in from Javi as well. That Guardian. Beautiful shot. Verno now left alone towards this short. He is going to get slowly crunched. Autumn, Crystal trying to work it up together. They get that pick, and now all of a sudden it's flipped. 3v4. They've gained that numbers advantage. Getting that spike down as well. Holding into this post plant. They just need to be careful here, because these are the kinds of rounds that MIBR have been known to flip over.
Yeah, it's going to be hard though against double Senti. Like the double pick. Great spacing and entries in from GE are going to give MIBR a lot of trouble getting back in. The barrier, as well as the sonic sensor. You've got the follow-up grab net, even if they are able to make it a little bit deeper into the site. Hits all three players for MIBR. And Autumn capitalizing, Crystal to follow up, and Aspas finally pulls the grab net out, but I think he's better off just saving this Vandal at this point.
Really well played here by GE. They saw the opportunity and they took it. Verno being left alone, knowing he couldn't do anything, but the crunch timings are still there. It's good to see that they're keeping a lot of those protocols. They're not going, overextending, playing too needy. Like, they need to get those picks, still taking their time and making sure they're doing it with reason. GE now. It's so hard when you're in this position, because you have to snowball. You have to snowball the economy. You have to snowball these ults. It's going to be so much harder too with this double Senti comp. Crystal and Autumn, Cypher and Deadlock. It's almost impossible. The good thing is they could get so much information with those trips, with holding it all the way back. It's going to be a little bit of a rough one, because MIBR is actually going to face them for an A-lobby fight.
Unitard having a little bit of a think about taking that, but the utility quickly pushing GE back away. They'll allow MIBR to have control of lobby, and they're going to start to speed up into C now. This is where Tex, fantastic on the opening map on the Cypher. Quite happy to play retake in from spawn side. There's a juicy little kill trip there, but that's dealt with by Harvey Shocked Up.
These players taking sight with a vengeance. That wall is going to go down. Really annoying to deal with, like I mentioned earlier. And this post plant, they're trying to keep this site. They have the trip on the flank. They don't need to worry about it unless there's an omen. And now MIBR in this 5v5 retake. It's really hard, especially when these players have so much site control. But Autumn playing towards that back site. The TP comes in. Catman getting one, but Mazzino, Verno, and Aspas are so good at clearing. Crystal left in a 1v3. And no win for him. Mazzino with the final pick of the game and a 12-3 scoreline here for MIBR.
That is just back-to-back stomps here. MIBR coming into EWC 2026 with a vengeance. You can see exactly why they were able to run over the Americas qualifier. Doing very well for themselves, and unfortunately another flat performance from a team coming out of Pacific here into EWC. I think that last round is kind of the cherry on top. That is exactly what GE's comp is meant to be good at. They get into a 5-on-5 post plant, all of the Sentinel utility down, and MIBR just retake with 4 players alive.
Insane, actually insane, and MIBR just proving themselves. They're more than just a super team. Every single player knows how to play together really well, which is the one thing that I feel like MIBR was missing for a long time. Verno, really good IGLing here, making sure his team is staying consistent, and they're still active in the server.
Is Verno always this greedy, calling strategies so he can go 21-4?
No, he just does that naturally.
He just does it on the Sova on a regular basis.
Yep.
It looked easy for MIBR. Is this simply a skill difference? Is it a coaching difference, a team difference? Pilsky, there's a lot that goes into Valorant for someone who's newer trying to follow everything. How would you break it down in the simplest form?
This is like your ranked game where you're trying to rank up and you're playing against like Radiance and you're like, you know, Ascendant or something like that.
You're trying to get there.
You're just having a tough day at the office. Unfortunately, GE, we know their skill ceiling. They're a fantastic team at the best of times, but today just wasn't it. MIBR were a much better team, and at the end of the day, they played like it. Both of these maps were complete landslides in their favor, and you can't really argue with the star power on the side of MIBR. GE, unfortunately, just not really showing up to this one, and they'll have to go down into that lower bracket and pick themselves up, much like RRQ.
Yeah, it's kind of insane, too. Not a single...
Stop. Before you buy this. This exact product
normally does on the Neon, it's going to be way higher when it comes to those round-to-round ultimates.
So,
You already see it, round 4, and it's being used to basically secure.
Frost काफी
The only
1 like to complete
really
5 million
played
likes.
here by GE. They saw, but the crunch timing over their time and making it almost impossible.
I think
Right.
Yeah, this is where Tex, fantastic.
नुसते util dumb.
That wall's gonna go down. Really annoying.
Pudo
to
than
deal
1
with,
HP
like
ho
I
gaya.
mentioned earlier. And this post plant, they're trying to keep this site. They have the trip on the flank. They don't need to worry about it unless there's an omen. And now MIBR in this 5 control. But Autumn playing towards that backside. The TP comes in. Patman getting one, but Mazzino.
Wow, what a retake! How did Mazzino get one on top there, bro?
And no win for him. Mazzino with the fight.
Progress की at least progress की at least उधर
EWC 2026 with a vengeance. You can see
भाई देखो
भाई नमस्ते
Progress अच्छा था।
भाई
खेल रही टीम हेरिटेज देखो
कैसे हो भाई
प्रोग्रेस अच्छा था क्लच भाई पहला मैप
दो अगले
राउंड
मैप 3
यप
दैट्स बिग नेक्स्ट गेम में 4 दो अगले मैप 3 टीम हेरिटेज देखो
प्रोग्रेस अच्छा था क्लच भाई पहला मैप
दो अगले मैप 3
यप
दैट्स बिग
I don't eat sugar now.
picking. 45 seconds. It's also a sort of mixed bag.
Yeah,
buy, so
match
the lower the time gets, I feel like the better it is for all gamers,
AG
especially them not giving up
versus
anything
PH.
in terms of those opening picks. They're also walking into Kiru's.
Nice playing international stage again. We played really well as a team. We practiced a lot and we could show what we are practicing.
Talk to me a little bit about the preparation coming into this event. Your qualification was really smooth. You beat Lev 3-0. How'd that go for you, and how's the preparation been so far?
I think things are going smoothly, very smoothly. We are doing a lot of stuff outside of the game, so outside of stage. And we are doing a lot of preparations, and everything worked out fine, and we could show everything that we are practicing.
You talked about it already, but this is the first international for MIBR this year. You didn't qualify to EWC last year, so this is your first time at EWC. What kind of expectations do you and MIBR have for this event?
We're gonna do our best. We're gonna take a game at a time, so we're gonna focus on just the match that we have at the moment, and what happens next, we're gonna think about it when we have to deal with it.
Amazing stuff. Well, congratulations once again for your victory. See you for your next game. Puckett, back to you guys.
Missed opportunity there to ask about the stuffies. You saw Aspas had both of them. The man takes them wherever he goes here in Paris. They're looking like good luck charms. So far, it's a clean start to your tournament. Expectations from here on out, because there's still plenty of matches to play in this group.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're going to move on in the group. I don't think that the A-Stream game is
still going on.
Yeah, but Heretics is at least up 1-0. And honestly, with how MIBR is looking, I don't think they're going to have trouble with anybody in this group. They should just cruise straight through to playoffs. The Global have got a lot of work to do in that lower bracket.
All I'm going to say is, I told you so.
So like
Did
वो
she?
एक वाइब है भाई
I
जो
did.
अपने
Chat
साथ वो
fact
लेके
checker.
चलता है ना, जो अपने,
We are going to wrap things up here for
जो
this
top
matchup
उसके
on the
level को
stage as we
दोगे
throw
उसके
to
घर पे,
break. Reminder,
यहाँ पर
our
भी ले
next
आता है।
match coming up is
बहुत
going to
से
be
लोग
a
अपना mouse pad
doozy.
लेकर
We
जाते
switch
हैं,
over
बहुत
to
से लोग
Group
अपना ही
C
mouse
with the
लेकर जाते हैं।
Gentlemates taking the stage after
तो
this.
ऐसा भी होता है। ओके ठीक है भाई, कुछ हो तो नहीं पाया। ओके गाइस, ठीक है भाई, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वाचिंग दिस स्ट्रीम भाई। अभी हम स्ट्रीम एंड करते हैं बिकॉज वी लॉस्ट, जीई लॉस्ट, बट बहुत ही बढ़िया खेला MIBR ने भाई, बहुत ही बढ़िया, लाइक डोमिनेट कर दिया पूरा मैप, दोनों के दोनों, लाइक लोटस भी और हेवन भी। तो वी आर हैप्पी फॉर देम भाई, उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा लगा। और बट ठीक है, आगे देखते क्या होता है। अभी 2 दिन बाद आई थिंक इनको फिर से मौका मिलेगा ना, सो लेट्स सी क्या होता है। अभी तो मैं चलता हूँ भाई, ये तो देख लिया, अब बाकी है भाई, देखो ये देख के थोड़ा सा मूड खराब हो गया है, लेकिन आगे अभी 7 बजे आएगा इंडियाज गॉट लेटेंट, तो वो देख के सही हो जाएगा भाई। यू गेट इट भाई, यू गेट इट। तो ठीक है भाई, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग दिस स्ट्रीम भाई लोग, मेक श्योर टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब, और मिलते हैं तुम लोग से अगली स्ट्रीम के लिए, अगली स्ट्रीम पर, और मैं आऊँगा 8 बजे स्ट्रीम करने वालों का। सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग भाई, बाय 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 बाय।